Hello and welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there's greed. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at a few altcoins that are available on Coinbase. Let's take a look at Solana, AVAX, and Chainlink today. Of course, if you have any requests for me to do technical analysis, chart outlooks on altcoins that are on Coinbase or Robinhood, comment them below. I might feature them in another video, a special such as this one, or talk about them tomorrow in a live stream. So let's get into it. Again, we're going to take a look at Solana, AVAX, and Chainlink today. And we can see that with fear and greed, still on the border of greed and extreme greed. The alt season index, it is still chomping up and we are at a higher low. So maybe we'll see some decent deals. We'll find out. And I also talk about on this channel the cyclical nature of Bitcoin and other indicators to try to get a feel for where the altcoins, where Bitcoin, where everything is at this phase of the bull run, considering the halving and just what has happened in the past. Try to get some sense of what may happen in the future with Bitcoin and its price. And on this channel, we also take a look at mining stocks, other crypto projects, talk about stocks, did a stock video earlier. Let's get into Bitcoin. And as you can see with Bitcoin on the weekly, it's just sort of chopping sideways right now. Two dojis in a row, buy signal, sell signal, just chopping sideways. When we take a look at it on the daily, you will see that Bitcoin has been bouncing off of this orange band. That is the 50-day moving average. You will see here, though, there are lower lows and lower highs. And so whenever we get somewhat of a channel like that, we want to take a look at it through this lens and just know it's not a perfect channel, but you can see here a lot of those bottoms and tops line up. And could this be a local top? And then we see Bitcoin come down lower end of this channel around 88.7, which is also near the 100-day moving average. That could be possible if we don't see Bitcoin start to break out that way. Another thing to note is that when we take Bitcoin and we take a look at it underneath a Fibonacci retracement, let's do that right here. We're going from last top to bottom. And when we take it off log scale, something I think is important for y'all to look at if you're wondering, why is the market behaving the way it is right now? Bitcoin's never really been able to get above this 1618. And when we go to the weekly, I have on Heikin-Ashi candles, we see that only the wicks are closing above, not the candle bodies. And last time Bitcoin had a local top, this was the former all-time high from 2021. That's the gray line right there. And as you can see, once Bitcoin finally got up to that gray line, you see wicks, but no real candle bodies closing above. Once you see candle bodies closing above, then we are on our way to the next stage. So the 1618 is at 102K. The 2618, the next major macro area, would be around 155K or 3 trillion market cap. Just things to remember for Bitcoin. If it does start getting above 102K, getting to 110, 120, we may be close to the final phases of the cycle and the bull run. I talk about this in my other videos, so I don't want to get too deep in the Bitcoin here. Let's get into the altcoins I wanted to talk about. So first, let's talk about Solana and see where it's at. So a couple things to note here, just at least on the weekly. On the weekly, you can see Solana challenged its former all-time high. That's the gray line. And it came down, got support, not just off that channel. And even though prices can break out of a channel, I think it's still good to leave those channels and trend lines for a little bit because they can act as support. And we want to see the 20 moving average, this channel act as support, and hopefully challenge that former all-time high again that it had from November 21. When we're taking a look for price targets for Solana and going up the Fib retracement scale, at least the extended targets, here's what we got. So the 3618 at 920. I know it seems crazy. 2618 at 670, 1618 at 416. So that'd be about a 2x from here. Something else I thought was interesting about Solana is when we pair it with Bitcoin. I hope I did this right. There we go. When we pair it with Bitcoin, you can see that Solana is at a recent support. And so let's just zoom in here. So these lower price, you can go sideways. This is the last bit of support, not just for the price right here. You can see it's not really getting lower than that. That was March of last year. Again, that was the local top time, but it's also getting support at this 100-week moving average. So the Solana Bitcoin pairing, if this is support and it can go higher, we would be wanting to look for that. We can take other indicators. Let's go to the stochastic RSI and see where that one is at for Solana, and we'll take a look at some other indicators as well, MACD. So this is also good for Solana. Right here, we have the blue moving average starting to move above the orange, and when that happens, that is typically a good area to dollar cost average in. So on the weekly, we have Solana trying to flip and start to move positive. It's been oversold as far as the stochastic. We have support at the channel, the 20-week. We have the Solana Bitcoin pair at a nice support at the 100-week moving average. If we go into the daily, what do we notice? Well, we have to fix our fib again. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. So when we fix our fib and get that out of here, make things clear, right now it's still just another lower high. The next price area you'd want to look is 223. You'd want to see Solana get above that area. But if it is another lower high, you can see how Solana is like the 200 day moving average and the upper end of the channel. That's good discount territory here at 170 to 180. I talked about how I also wanted to take a look at the MACD, the moving average convergence, divergence. No, it's a mouthful. So you can see it's already turned red. Can it get deeper? Yes. How much deeper will the price go? Well, that's hard to say. So here, for comparison, you can see that all because the red boxes aren't deeper doesn't mean that the price has to go much deeper. So you can see that played out last time. And even though it went much deeper, the price was still sideways. And here, that lined up with just one of these bars. So the deeper the price seems to be when it starts to go back down initially. So the MACD, still not flipping positive or close to that yet, but we have some other indicators that are looking promising. The next altcoin I said we would take a look at, so I said Solana, and then we were going to do AVAX and Chainlink. So let's go over to AVAX and get more and more requests to take a look at AVAX, whether it's during the live streams or other videos. So AVAX, it's in this giant wedge from its all-time high, November of 21. That was also the second top for Bitcoin right here. Now, alt season, it was truly here, but when we take it the alt season index, it shows there were three major spikes. We haven't even had one yet, and that was the last spike later in that year. You can see where it lines up, November 21 into early 22. So anyway, since that time, it's forming this giant wedge, and it all sort of starts to coil up in May of this year, May to June. So we'll see what happens there. Is the price of AVAX still going to be in there? But as far as where it is right now, let's turn on our buy-sell signals. Still playing out a weekly sell signal, of course. We haven't seen a green candle. I do like that wick, though. I'll talk more about that here in a moment. But this wick, it was bought up. So we have the 20-week moving average, the 0.5 fib. Let's make sure our fib's good. It looks like it's good, but I want to make sure it's on log scale perfect. So we have the 0.5 fib here, but when it wicked down, you'll see what happened. Got bought up right off that 50-week moving average. And we see the stochastic getting ready to flip positive. So, as far as AVAX is concerned, any area right in here around 37 to 30 bucks, I think that's decent discount territory. Even this the 382 fib right here and the lower trend line of that fib, that's around the $27 range. So should AVAX go down even more, I would not want to miss prices here if I were an AVAX fan. And then if we take a look at price targets, well, first of all, let's take a look at some of those fibs. So the 618 fib here, 50 bucks, the 786, 80 bucks, former all-time high, 147. And then when we take our fib and look for price targets off log scale, you'll see that the 1618, 232, 2618, 370, and so on. You can see those numbers right there. Let's go into Chainlink and we'll finish up there. So Chainlink, we'll fix our fib before we take a look at price targets at the end. Chainlink on the weekly, it is just going down like a staircase. So you do see these wicks being bought up initially at the 618 here. Let's put on the daily. Yeah, those wicks were being bought up. Look at that, right at the 50-day moving average. And then it came down to the 100. The 100-day, look at that wick. It was bought up very nicely. And on the weekly, it is bought up on that 20-week moving average. So nice strong buy there to get the price of Chainlink up close to, well, technically it's above the 618. But should Chainlink continue to go lower, the 0.5 fib and the 50-week moving average is here at 16. I like that as a good discount territory. Looking at Chainlink, it only recently got above the 618. Didn't do that before, didn't quite get to the 786. So not looking as strong to me right now. And so if it did get down to the 0.5, I do like this as stronger support with the 50-week moving average as well. And as we take a look on the daily, still a series of lower highs, lower lows. You see this channel right here. Heck, let's just draw one and see what we got. So that kind of lines up the most. If it did, by the time it did come back down, maybe it's going to be closer to that 200-day moving average, somewhere around 17. So anywhere 19 to 16 bucks, I think, not bad, decent discount territory. And then between the 0.5 fib and this 382 area in the lower end of that wedge, so that's around 12 to 13 bucks. That'd be like good deep value territory should it get down there anytime soon. So yeah, let's just say 12 to 14 bucks. So decent dollar cost average area, good deep value right down there. Let's take a look at the stochastic for Chainlink. And the stochastic, it's not coming down as far, but you can see that it can still flip up positive again. These very big oversold moves. Look at this one. It only came back up to its former prices. And remember, the RSIs are measuring strength, so it's not always perfect correlation with price. But this one didn't get all the way down. And if you would a dollar cost average right there, even though it was underneath the 50 line right in the middle, this was right before it pumped up. So even if Chainlink just starts to turn around right here, you wait for confirmation, wait for it to flip positive, and who knows, it can still go down a little bit more. But the stochastic flip in positive would be one thing to look for as far as confirmation, as well as buy signals, of course, the MACD. It's good to combine those on a chart. I like to, one, buy when I have that confirmation, but two, dollar cost average in when I'm hitting my fibs and my moving averages on the weekly. As far as price targets, got carried away with myself. As far as price targets, the 786, still have to close and capture that. That's 32 bucks. The former all-time high, $53 around there. And when we take a look with the off-log price targets, the 1618, 83, 2618, 131. And then up there, if you're looking for something around a little under 10x, 8 to 10x, the 3618 at 180, the 4236 at 210. So that would be pretty dang good. If Chainlink got up here, and I do own Chainlink, full disclosure, I don't have Solana or AVAX. Actually, I may have a little AVAX. I'll have to check, but nothing notable. But if my Chainlink got anywhere near here, me personally, I would be taking all my profits at that point. So do have price targets no matter what alt season charts and indexes do. Guys, I don't know as far as where the price is going to go. We could take a look at charts, see what data lines up, and try to make our best educated guess at it. But regardless, one of the best things you can just do is just have your price targets. And I showed you how to do that. Take your fib. Again, former macro high to low, and then make sure your chart's on log, take the fib off log, and decide which percentage, would you take out at these different areas? So anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. That's going to do it for today, and comment below if there's other alts you'd like for me to talk about in the live stream or future videos. Take care.